Now, normally on this channel, I review things like men's grooming products, but if you've been around a while, you'll know that I like to throw in the occasional piece of clothing or everyday carry item that most guys have. And well, that's kind of where today's product falls. However, I do want to say that today's video is in no way sponsored, and I actually bought with my own money the product that I am going to mostly talk about today. So I've worn belts since I was a kid. I've never really been a shorts kind of person, and I've always liked to have a good belt on me. And up until I was about 25, I had belts from Guatemala that my mom would send me or bring back for me, and those were all handcrafted and lasted me a really long time. And unfortunately, after that, I ended up having to buy belts from like a big box store. I ended up buying ones like this. And this here is a genuine leather belt that is essentially painted. It's got a nice black shiny paint on it that starts to come off fairly quickly. It is fairly thin, as well as it is very warped from my daily use. But unfortunately, these only lasted about a year before I would start having the buckle rip out of them, or they just be stretched out too much. I mean, look at the holes on this one are just absolutely stretched and just not good. Now, genuine leather is not a high quality leather. If you see that on any product that you're buying, you should probably pass, as it is one of the lowest grade leathers that you can possibly get. And well, I made the mistake of not knowing that for a really long time. So when I finally got tired of buying these about every year or two, I decided a couple years ago that I was gonna go and actually find a decent belt, because hey, there had to be some out there. Now, when I started my research for belts, I knew that there's a few things that I wanted. One is I didn't want a really thin, flimsy belt like this, and I definitely did not want genuine leather, which brought me to looking for belts that are full grain leather, which is what you're gonna want because that is a much, much higher quality product, as well as I wanted something that if I wanted to, I could change out the buckle on it, and one that obviously didn't have this paint that would, you know, chip off of it right away. I also knew that I didn't want anything that would end up wavy like this, or at least as bad as this, because, well, the reason why I got that way is because I carry, and therefore I have some weight in a particular spot on my body that puts strain on that leather, as well as I'm taking something off of it and putting something on it once a day, which meant that I needed something a little bit thicker, which is when I ended up finding this belt here, which I ordered in late December of 2022, but got about the first week of 2023, and I've been wearing this ever since. And I had to tell you guys that this belt by Bullhide Belts is absolutely one of the best purchases that I have made in a very, very long time. Now, this belt definitely is a little bit thicker, coming in about 1/4 of an inch thick and 1.5 inches wide, which means that it does very well with a concealed carry or even a open carry. Now, I conceal carry, as well as I've got this thing that has been on my belt for right about a year now. So between these two things, that's quite a bit of weight to be putting on to a belt. And being how thick as well as wide as this is, it is a very suitable belt for anybody that carries tools or carries what I do, as well as janitors that have to carry a lot of keys. It really does help to sit nicely on your hips, and it makes it so that your pants don't sag or your belt does not sag to one side, because it has the sturdiness to hold that weight properly. Now, a couple of nice things that I have found out about this is that the holes have not really stretched out that much, at least that bad. They are a little bit more stretched just because, well, that's gonna happen, but they aren't completely out of shape. And I have gone through several different hole sizes, including up to having to make my own for a very short period of time down at the very bottom when I lost a little bit of weight. I also like the fact that the buckle has not tarnished and looks just as good as the day that I got it. Not only does it look good, but if I wanted to change out that buckle for any reason, it's held on with Chicago screws that are very easy to undo, replace the buckle with one of their buckles, and simply put the Chicago screws back together again, and you have essentially a new looking belt. I went with a non-stitched version for this belt because I kind of like just the fact that it's just a piece of leather here. And I also would like to point out that the finish that they have finished this with is, well, still perfect. I mean, there's no place that it is peeling off or having any issues like that. Bullhide belts are made in Indiana, and I did actually end up ordering 2 belts. One of them I measured wrong, and so therefore I had to ship the original back and get a properly sized belt. So I do suggest going to their website, seeing what they say about properly measuring your belt, and go off of that size chart. Now, Bullhide belts has several different versions of this, as well as several in different colors. They even have a steel belted one, which is basically a steel belt inside of the leather, which makes it even stiffer. So if you carry a lot or heavy stuff on one side of your belt daily, you should probably look into that. I found that this, for my needs and my daily carry, is really nice. Now, of course, Bullhide belts doesn't only make concealed carry or gun belts like this one, but they also carry your standard dress belts as well as your day-to-day belts if you're looking for something that's gonna hold up a lot better than this flimsy thing. Now, of course, I am a fan of Bullhide belts, and I'm probably going to end up buying a new one soon because I have a couple of items that I want to put on my belt that don't quite fit with this thick of a belt. So I may be getting another one of these here soon. But even if you don't want to go with Bullhide belts, I want to say that there are plenty of companies out there that are making full grain leather belts that are going to be quality and are going to hold up a whole lot better than just about anything that you're going to get at a big box type store or even your regular clothes stores. Now, of course, these belts do come at a premium price. However, I got this one for $75 a year and a half ago, and I checked and it didn't go up much since then. So it is definitely worth the price, as I'm sure that this one here, if I continue to wear it, will last me at least another 5 years, provided I don't outgrow it. Now, if you're a younger guy and you are looking at belts and you're thinking that that's a little bit too expensive for a belt, I would recommend to just go and look at your flimsy belts. Once you buy one of those, you'll realize that you're just gonna end up having to buy more of them, and eventually that price is gonna outprice a good belt like this one. So I recommend going and getting yourself a full grain leather belt like this one right away. Now, of course, if you are thinking about getting a full grain leather belt from Bullhide Belts, I of course will leave a link down below for you guys, as well as a direct link to this belt that I ordered here. Now, of course, down in the comment section, I would love to know if you have splurged for a good quality belt yet, and if so, what brand and how is it held up? And if you're interested in seeing some of my other videos, here's a video that you may like, as well as below that's another one that you may like. And until next time, as always, thanks for watching, and you have a good one.